Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the gasket cutting tool. It's called an all-pack tool. That's the brand name that it comes in. Here is your actual gasket cutter. The blade is right there. And this is the adjustment pin to set the different lengths and distances that you're wanting to cut it to. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is I am going to cut a ring gasket out of the cardboard for this here. So our first step would be to measure the outside diameter, and that is 3 inches. I've marked 3 inches there on that side, and it comes to 6 over here, so 3 inches. Then we would do the inside diameter. So I go to 4, and the inside diameter is 2 inches. So my numbers are 3-inch OD, 2-inch ID. So again, because it's a circle cutter, we have to split that difference in half. So 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 inches. So what we're going to do, I've left the blade out a little bit intentionally because we take the tape measure and we check our distance. So I'm setting that at 3 inches where the blade is. And I'm going to this line, and half of my distance was 1.5 inches. So I'm getting my mark to the mark on the center of that to my 1.5 inch mark. I'm about a 30-second short. Probably moved it too much. I'm pretty close right there. Hold it, tighten it down. We always double check, measure twice, cut once. Okay, then what we have is we have our center point, and this pin goes through our center point. I don't have it laid out at all because I'm just going to show you guys how simple it is. We use the compass on the other one more to put the bolt holes in. On this one, we're just cutting a ring gasket that fits on here. So we don't even have to trace it out. I'm cutting it in the cardboard so we don't waste gasket material. Inside the box that this comes in, there's an Allen wrench. To adjust the depth of the blade or change blade, there's 2 Allen screws here on the end that we loosen up. Loosen those up, and the blade would slide in and out. Now it's very thick because the cardboard's very thick. The blade is sticking out further. When you're cutting the gasket material, you don't want to have the blade sticking out that far because all you're going to do is cut into the base material of the board here and damage it. So, but with the cardboard, we want it a little bit further out. We have it set to our 1.5 inches, and basically now all we do is we lay that on the pin and we start cutting our circle. Remember, we always cut the OD first, and I need a new blade. Look at how that's been tearing. Okay? So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to put a different hole here. Hopefully I still have enough to make it over to the side without losing material. And I'm going to go real light, not putting any pressure down, and I'm just basically scoring through that. And I'm working my way down through several cuts to make that. Okay, at that point, trust me, it works better on the gasket material. But at this point, I'm going to have to cut just a little bit more there. I'm not all the way through. And you see what's happening to our center point too, because it's so thick to cut through. We've kind of wallowed out our center point. I'm trying to do this in a hurry to show you guys, but sometimes that's not the best thing to do. We tore a little bit here, but you still get the roundness of it. Now, we are going to put this back in and cut our inside diameter. Remember, our inside diameter was 2 inches, so we split that in half. Again, we're going to have to loosen this up. There is a scale on here, but it's in metric conversions, so I always double check it by using the tape measure and setting it that way. 3 inch, my line is going to match up with the 4 inch mark, the line in the center of this. Double check my measurement again. Okay, and again, cardboard doesn't cut as easy as the gasket material, so it'll probably look a little skewed, but here it gets a little harder because we don't have as much to hang on to because we're cutting this smaller piece. Can hear it ripping and tearing inside there. You get the idea. Again, it's ripping and tearing because the blade's dull, but we would cut that circular piece out of there, and once we get through there, our gasket would be cut to fit. I'll show you like this. I know it's not cut all the way through, but our gasket would be having this piece out of the middle, and we would have that there. The only reason we do the cardboard one for the full face first is to do a practice to match your holes. And it's easier to make it in the cardboard than to go through all the gasket material over and over again. So we make it in the cardboard, which is cheap. The last thing we always do with the gasket cutter when we get done, we always loosen up these set screws on the end, or these locking screws, and we pull the blade in. Just like a utility knife, we don't leave it sit with the blade out. We make sure that it is completely encased, so if somebody grabs it, they don't cut themselves. Make sure we throw everything back in the case. Like I said, that's how we'll cut the ring gasket. Again, it will cut much easier on this. You see how much thinner this is than the cardboard. So if you have any questions, let me know.